Well, Happy New Year, everyone. I hope everyone is safe, well, and doing good. I'm not complaining. Getting by. Didn't get to do as much as I wanted to during Christmas. I think I had mentioned before I acquired a piece of land next door and went out there on the cold days and started cleaning up, and I got covered in poison sumac. So what a way to start the year. I am covered in calamine lotion and this and that, and taking Benadryl, so I'm getting by. It's been some sleepless nights, put it that way. Anyway, not long ago, a Patreon member donated a Drake TR4 to the radio shop, and I'll be restoring this radio over on Patreon. It's only right, the person is a Patreon member, so I'll do the restoration on Patreon. Should be a pretty nice radio. It's all complete. Only thing it was, it didn't have a power supply. Well, rushed online, looked at the MS4 and different power supplies. And wow, those things have gotten crazy. It's like gold or something. I don't know. $250, $300 in that price range. And the MS4 power supply has the is in a case, speaker, the supply, everything in it. But yeah, them things are just crazy. So I went on, I think it was eBay, I believe. I can't remember. It might have been qth.com. And I bought this. This is the AC3, and it's got new caps under. It's been recapped. Works good. No problems with it. And I think it was like $100 in shipping. Wasn't too bad. But I want to have the thing in a case. So I decided that I would just build my own case for it and put it in a case with a speaker in it. So this thing measures about 10 inches wide. Yep, about 10 inches wide. And we delete the feet. It's about 5 inches tall. So that shouldn't be no problem. Now the Drake with the feet sets up about 6 inches. And so this is about 6 inches, not quite 6 inches. About 5 and 5/8 with the feet on it, which will be removing the feet and putting them on the bottom of a case. So I decided what I would do is just, build the case myself. And that's what we're going to do today, is get in here and build the case for this AC3 power supply. Now, as far as most of the garage type videos I've been doing, with the milling machine and the lathe and automotive stuff, I'm starting a second channel. I'm stuck between names at the moment for it. I was thinking about just calling it Buddy's Garage, but it's more than just garage stuff, to be milling, machining, and fabricating, and everything that's not electronic related, with the radio shop will be done on that channel. So I'm still trying to figure out a good name for that, but we'll see. I can always, change the name of what it is. Right now it's Buddy's Garage, but no videos up yet, but I will be moving videos over there. Some of the other machining automotive videos over to that channel. But like I say, I'm not really stuck on Buddy's Garage, because like I say, it's more than just garage, and I don't want to call it the Radio Shop 2. So yeah, I'm still working on that. But anyway, let's see about what we got to do to build a cabinet for this power supply. So I was on the internet and I found this paper, and I thought I had another paper with the URL on it, but apparently it didn't. It's ai4fr.com, and he's talking about, you know, the dimension and size of the MS4 power supply. So the cabinet is 5 3/8 high, 10 3/4 wide, 11 1/8 deep. And it's probably some, you know, heavy gauge metal. I think the metal that they used in the Drake is somewhere around 22, 24 gauge, something like that. But it's pretty solid. So I got several sheets of these are 12 by 24. I got 3 or 4 sheets of this around. It's 26 gauge. Yeah, it's a little bit thin, but we know how to stiffen it up by making bends in it and creasing the edges over, and that really stiffens it up real good. And for the speaker grill, they use just perforated metal. And I was at Lowe's and I looked at some. It's like $40 a sheet, and it ain't but like I think it's a 2x3 sheet of it. It's like 40 bucks. So I found this, and it's a hole surrounded by smaller holes, and it's 0.02 thick. So you know, it's a little bit thin, but the original Drake power supply has a speaker backing, and then the grill behind it. You see how it looks on the picture here. You can see the speaker through it, and you know, that's okay. But I'm not trying to copy the Drake supply, but what I'm gonna do is use a after the supply is built, or the cabinet is built, I'm going to use a 1/4" piece of board inside of it, cut out to hold the speaker, and then this will be put on the front of that. But in between it, we're going to have this black felt backing in between this and the speaker, so that will give it one solid coat. You won't even be able to see the speaker in the supply. The screws to hold the speaker will be in the board itself instead of sticking through the front. This one it's hard to see, but you can see that's 4 bolts coming through the front of the grill, and I don't like that. So. Also, instead of a one-piece bit cabinet, mine will be 2 pieces, and the reason for that, I could bend a one-piece cabinet, but I'm not able to fold the edges over on that break that I have. It's only a 30-inch, and I would need to be able to I don't know, probably about 40 inches to be able to put the whole piece in there and, you know, bend it over. And that's what strengthens the metal. It's by taking the first 1/2 inch of the metal and folding it back on itself all the way around. That makes a good sturdy piece of metal. Okay, I got everything laid out on the first piece of metal for the top of the cover. We'll have to cut it off on this edge. You can see there'll be a bend line here. Well, this 1/2 inch will fold over back onto itself. There's a bend line here, a bend line here, and one at this end. Well, this side will fold back on itself. Now this whole front, if you notice, I got these 45 cut out. So that's when the metal is folded over and it bent back, it doesn't overlap on itself and bulge out the sides. So this side and this side will both be bent back, and these tabs will be cut out, and that'll strengthen up this metal considerably. So I guess we'll get out in the shop and go ahead and get this cut, and then we'll go ahead and start bending. Okay, I got all metal cut to length. I got it set up in the bender, and we'll go ahead and bend this front end up into a L. Then we can cut out the tabs and then finish bending it over. And it's that easy. This is one of those Harbor Freight 30-inch benders. It's okay for this light gauge metal, but anything much heavier than this, it'll start causing a problem. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and cut these tabs off, and I'm going to just use the air cutter, and I'll do that off cam so y'all won't have to listen to all that noise. But I think first we'll go ahead and bend it, or turn it around and bend this side. And I can do all that at one time. Okay, that's a ½ inch on both sides. Now the depth of the cabinet is 11 1/8, and this sheet was 12 inches wide. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit narrower than the original case, but again, I'm not going for originality. I'm going for making a case to put this power supply in. That's one good thing about home brewing. You can do it your way, or you can copy someone else's design. Alright, let's go ahead and bend that one up. There we go. Okay, both ends are bent over and flattened out. And you can see that makes a whole lot stiffer. The seams are 45 together, so when this bends up, they will not overlap and hit each other. So the next thing to do is go ahead and start bending the corners, and then bend the insides. Okay, we're ready to go ahead and make our next bend. That easy. Now we just don't want to slide this forward and bend it. We want to actually turn it around and bend it so that we make sure that our sides are the same length. Always bend from the end that you measured from. There's our basic cabinet. See, nice, good, sharp bend lines. Alright, now we can move on to making the bottom. Okay, we got the next sheet to start making the bottom with. And look at the top cover. And we measure it. So inside our cabinet, the way I bend it, should be 10 3/4. And it is right on 10 3/4. Perfect. So the bottom cabinet is going to have, it's going to be bent like this is, but it's also going to bend up on each side at 10 3/4, and that will stiffen it up real good and give something to put screws through. The front and rear will also just be bent over, and then the power supply bolts in it, and the power supply itself is going to stiffen this piece of metal up. Okay, so instead of a 1/2 inch, I'm going to bend the size 1 inch over. Then I'm going to come back, I'm going to bend it again at a 90 at the 2 1/4 mark, and that'll make the side real good and strong. And then the front and the back will be bent over at a 1/2 inch and set flush. Then we can come from here and measure the 10 3/4 over and do the other side the same way. Okay, I got this lined up, so we can go ahead now and make this first bend. Okay, the basic cabinet is done. Now we just got to cut the board that's going to go in the front and the screen and put that together, and then that can be bolted into the bottom. Now there will be screws going through the side. Take these off. Now you can see I relieved these front edges on both sides. I'm not going to worry about the back, and that's because that when the speaker grill was sitting in here, if it didn't relieve these edges here would be out here, and it would actually put a gap in the wall from here up at an angle. So we just relieve those edges, and when this bolts together, that hides that. Okay, so this is the bottom of the power supply, and I'm going to go ahead and drill out the holes for it. I'm going to bring it back here just to the lip, and I'm going to use a transfer punch to mark these hole locations. Now the back two will actually hold the feet on the bottom, and I'll have to drill 2 more up here at front to hold the front two, but that'd be 2 blind screws here. So I want to get this thing centered in here. It's 10 millimeters. That's pretty much center. So I'm going to just use a transfer punch and go ahead and mark those 4 hole locations. Okay, I got the bottom of the power supply mounted in, and that really stiffened up this bottom plate. I mean, it made a world of difference. I got the 2 feet on. I got the mark drill the holes for the front 2 feet now. And I'm thinking about setting them back a little further instead of putting them, I think it's like 3/4 of an inch from the back. I might move these back 1 inch, and that's just to get more room to clear for this speaker grill front end that goes in here. Okay, so we got our front board cut. We got our grill cut out and bent. We got some felt that's going to go on the board. And then the grill will just go directly over top of that. Now, if you notice, I haven't cut the holes for the speaker yet, and the reason being is that I do not have the speaker yet. The speaker that goes in the Drake is a 5x7. Now I have some smaller speakers, but I would much rather have the 5x7 speaker to go in this. I think it would sound a whole lot better. And I'm just marking this up just to see how it's going to look. What do you think, guys? Is that going to be worthy of a speaker power supply combo? I'll get this all bolted together, get it drilled out for 4 bolts on each side, 4 screws. And then we'll, I'm not going to worry about mounting the front panel yet until I get the speaker in. And then we'll attach this to the cover so it don't come off. And when we get the speaker in, I'll show you the finished product. Now, I don't know if I'm going to just sand this down and paint it, or if I'm going to send it over to a buddy of mine and let him powder coat it. I'll be thinking about that as the speaker comes in. Well, anyway, guys, just a simple little project for the new year. Nothing that anybody couldn't do. Just something to do, you know, little metal bending practices. And, you know, just a little bit of time. Anyway, I got another video to finish up for Patreon. I'm working on a helicopters, so I'm going to get back on that. And then, after I finish that, I'm going to go get some rest. So, again, Happy New Year to everybody. Make sure you check out the links below. And, like I say, let me know about the, if you have any ideas for a name for the garage channel. I just don't like calling it garage, because it's going to be more than just garage, you know. If you have any ideas, leave a comment down below. If you would, hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And guys, we'll see you very soon. Bye now.